tree in my backyard that I did not want to be there. I mean, what other reason is there to chop down a tree? Welcome to the pre-show, everybody. I think we're live. Yeah, we're live. Welcome to the pre-show where we talk about what we're going to do in the show. I was just sharing with Taylor. I think it's just going to be a Gomer and Taylor hour, which will be fun. Don't say it like that. Like this show already did not live up to expectations, and now look what we're handing off to our people. Sorry, y'all.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that. Just
that's fine. That's fine. But yes, I did. I chopped down a tree.
I mean, it sucks for me personally, but the audience should be okay.
Yeah. I didn't chop down all of the tree, which I know is like, wait, what? I mean, usually when you picture a tree, it's a tree. This was more like a tree, you know? You know what I mean? Like
I don't. I haven't the slightest idea what you mean by that.
Like when you imagine a tree coming out of the ground, it's like, shoot, a tree came out of the ground, you know? Poo. This is more like a tree came out of the ground and then it burdened off into like 5 different branches just this far from the ground, you know? And it's this big around on all 4 of those branches, and I got one of them.
Okay, so you really more trimmed a tree than chopped it down then.
Well, I mean, there's going to be a stump left. I've only gotten like 1/4 of the tree down. Is basically what I'm saying. Just a 4th.
Okay, so it's an ongoing project.
Well, if I'd have started earlier today instead of reading comics, even though the comics I read were shit, it was a very weird week for comics, and we'll talk about that later. But I'm going to get the rest of it. And the ironic thing is I want to chop this tree down so I can get a view of the cooler tree behind it. A better view of the cooler tree behind it. I know. Anyway, the struggle is real. And I think I'm going to get a koi pond for the backyard. We got a fire pit back there.
Well, that sounds zen as hell.
Yeah, I'm building it up back there. I'm having a great time. It's not even spring yet, technically. So.
Yeah, it's later this week, but... oh, wait, what day is it? Yeah, it's tomorrow. I think the first day of spring is tomorrow.
Oh, is it the first day of spring tomorrow? I did follow the no. It did. Hey, Andy, thanks for coming by. Yes, it actually fell on the wrong side of the fence, and I was like, damn, if I'd have had some forethought, I could have made this thing fall where I wouldn't have to throw it over the fence. And don't say it like that. I own that too. I own that property too. I'm throwing it on my own shit. Most of my shit is just nasty. News, Pride Month stuff has released. Marvel and DC. We'll compare, contrast both of them. New DC exclusive creator, new Spider-Man title announced. Which, I mean, shit, come on, man. Milestone news, which is very, very cool, and Hellfire Gala details. And then we'll talk about a little trailer that came out. But we'll talk about that in the news because there's comic book stuff. It's more comic book related than Moon Knight, actually. And definitely more than the Obi-Wan trailer. Food news is whack this week. It's gross.
Oh.
I'll spin it. Well. Yeah, that's it. Anything you want to add? It's going to be a quick one, I think. Comics were kind of shit this week.
I did see Batman last week.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about that in segment 1 then, because I saw a movie too. Yeah, that's all I got, man. If that's it, let's get into it. We'll start a little early, 30 seconds early. Let's do it. I had an overall great week, though.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah.
This is bad comedy.
It's true. It's not even that good. Galvatron. Late great Leonard Nimoy there. Episode of This Geek in Comics, Outright Geeky's comic book shit talk show.
Shit talk show.
It's a Gomer and Taylor show this week.
Hi.
He's going to talk about Batman in a minute. I finally saw No Way Home. It's out on the disc.
Yeah.
And it's good.
Yeah, they are pushing all of the quote unquote spoilers in the advertising now. I mean, anyone who cared about spoilers saw the movie already, so I guess that's fair game.
Yeah, I mean. Were they even spoilers at that point? I mean,
no. I was talking about it back
at promo, and at this point,
yeah. Like I was talking about it back when the movie came out. That it wasn't much of a logical leap to assume
Yeah.
that Toby and Andrew were going to be in the movie.
Yeah. I mean, let me start with the good things. All right. I'll go in order from my favorite top 3 favorite things. Number 3, Willem Dafoe. Are you kidding me? He's a legend. He's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the full package.
he was scary as
it's
shit.
dope, Adam. Yeah, it's great. Oh yeah, go ahead, Taylor. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, just Willem Dafoe was like fucking amazing in this. He was terrifying. He was like, he was much more physically intimidating here than he was back, 20 years ago when he was making.
The director of
these
this is a wrestling fan. They really like the body slams. They body slammed off of anything. Body slammed. I think even Doctor Strange got a body slam in there at one point. But my second favorite thing, Andrew Garfield, just a huge crush on this guy. He had the best year last year. I hope it continues. But yeah, he's great. He's great. He's my favorite Spider-Man. And I don't care. It's not even because he was Spider-Man. I just think he's a cool guy.
For me
fun to hang out with.
It's hard for me to assess how he is as a Spider-Man since the movies he were in were, real dog shit. But
yeah.
But he was really good in this. That is true.
Yeah. And Zendaya, she's awesome. She's great. She's great. Now, the bad thing, can I say the bad thing about this Spider-Man movie? And it's basically in the context of all of the Spider-Man movies. Tom Holland has never carried a Spider-Man movie. He just hasn't. And maybe he can, but he hasn't really been given the opportunity to. In the first 2, it really wasn't him carrying those movies, And in this one, it definitely wasn't him. Anybody could have been that Spider-Man. It was all about the other 2. Who did carry their movies. You know what I mean? I mean, say what you want about how terrible those Andrew Garfield ones were. He was great in it. He was awesome. He really played a good, quirky Peter Parker, I think, very well. And, I mean, I can't say nothing about Toby. I mean, those movies were great. Those movies were awesome. But, and that's not to take away from the movies at all. I kind of feel bad because everyone's trying to give Tom Holland all this credit, and sure, I mean, he's awesome. But
I would in fact make the argument that he is the best Peter Parker of the bunch, which that's going to be a subject of debate, I'm sure. But I do see what you're saying, and that like the first 2 movies, he was Robin, right? He was basically, it was a movie about the sidekick character because of the way they were framing it. So I do understand where you're coming from there.
Yeah. And even in this, not only I get the
here there was so much going on that no one actor is going to be able to really
and that's the thing. I get the nostalgia
in the spotlight,
For sure. I get the nostalgia of bringing in those other Peters, right? But to add in the Doctor Strange element, and that feels like it's more of tying this in as closely as they could to the rest of the MCU because they're building off into Multiverse of Madness. I get it. Gosh. Is that going to be the MCU moving forward? Everything is going to be, you have to have an element of something else in it. You know what I mean? Are there no one-shots anymore? Is that Moon Knight now? Is that our one-shot? You know what I mean? In the context of comics, is that our one-shot now where...
I don't know that I really see that as like a criticism. I see what you're saying. I definitely understand like that not being my preference, but...
it works for him.
It's fine if that's the way they want to do it, I think, because in this upcoming Doctor Strange movie, Wanda's in it.
Exactly. But if I could say one thing, comparing, contrasting, and this would be a great segue to like the Warner Brothers DC movies, they actually seem to be having the best of both worlds. They can have their Aquaman 2 and their Flash movie be in the same universe that they've already created and are kind of keeping, maybe depending on what happens to Flashpoint. We're not even really sure if the DCEU is a thing, if it's going to be a new thing, But then they can also have movies like The Batman, which is clearly outside of any established continuity.
Oh, yeah, that is 1,000% true. This is definitely
I think that's a good idea. I think that's cool to be able to have these standalone miniseries or out of continuity miniseries that are, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't mind if Marvel did start to kind of like, let's make some movies that aren't MCU. That could maybe work, but DC is definitely doing that. That's true.
Yeah. And how was that? You saw The Batman. How was The Batman? I don't have any images for The Batman. All I have is like this one. That's all I have. Well, that's all I got for The Batman.
Well,
That's all I got for The Batman.
I did like it. It was a bit on the long side. There was a lot of movie to it, and there is actually something that I think they definitely could have cut out to whittle down that runtime. But I definitely liked a lot of what they were doing here. I like the way that they kind of presented Batman as this boogeyman, right? As this almost like urban legend. Like the opening sequence where like they're showing the bat signal, they show a bunch of people, like one dude's like robbing a gas station or like a convenience store. One person is spray painting graffiti, and then these other guys are going to go like beat up some guy on the train. But they all see the bat signal, right? And they're like, oh shit. And like they're all like looking off into the shadows because they don't know if he's going to be there or not. I thought that was a really cool way of kind of establishing the effect he has on people, you know, that like
that's cool.
He is this boogeyman, this threat in the shadows, you know. And the way that they handled his fighting style, I thought really reinforced that, because he is efficient and brutal. He is like this overwhelming, like not death machine because he doesn't actually kill people, but like beatdown machine at least.
Yeah. I like my Batman like Michael Keaton, who murders every damn body. Don't give a shit.
Yeah, there's a pretty high body count in most of the Batman movies, but yeah, also Paul Dano as the Riddler was really good. I really enjoyed like the whole detective angle that they took this in. Yeah. I feel like if you're gonna make
that was like a big thing. I heard that was a big thing.
Yeah, it was this is definitely the most detective Batman has ever been in one of the movies.
Cool. Not fingerprints.
No, not stuff like that. Like
that was the only detectiving he did in that whole trilogy, and that would not work the way they explained it. Nah. That would not actually work.
But this was more akin to something like Seven or The Bone Collector or something like that, where it's like a mental chess match between Batman and the bad guy. And I like that element. I feel like if you're going to make a Batman movie, like Batman is so many things that you got to pick like one or two things that you're going to focus on. Like the Ben Affleck Batman was like this bruiser of a, like, you know, he's this mountain of muscle, right? And that's the thing they really went with.
He felt the most modern day comic book, right? And I think that's why the Batman and Robin movie, the one that gets so much shit, I think that's why it's found this newfound respect, because it feels like almost like a modern take on the Silver Age, which I think we'll talk about.
It does not deserve respect, but it is a lot of fun. The Batman and Robin movie.
In that way, though, you know, it's in that like
it's
campy.
Bad.
It's campy.
I
think it's trying to be campy.
Then they succeeded because it's bad, but in an enjoyable way. But,
exactly,
then the Nolan movies, like they focus on Batman being like a ninja. Here, they really are focusing more on the detective side of things.
I don't like Batman Ninja. I just don't like Batman as a ninja. I don't like my Snake Eyes as a ninja. Why has everybody got to be a fucking ninja? Just stop being ninja, okay? Just let the ninja be the ninja and just stay away.
I will say, now that you brought it up, though, that now that we brought up Nolan, I would say that Batman Begins is still probably my favorite Batman movie, but I did enjoy this. Yeah. It's in that like zone, though, where like I'm glad I watched it. I thought it was good, but I'm in no rush to see it again.
Yeah. This is actually just over the weekend. The Amazing Amanda, she just flipping through, and she put on that original '89 Batman from Keaton and Jack Nicholson and Nicholas and whatever. Dude, it still holds up for exactly what it is. I adore that movie so much. I've forgotten how much I love that movie. It's probably been 3 or 4 or 5 years since I've seen it, and it was great. I think that's still my favorite Batman movie overall, pound for pound, that Keaton one. Anyway, I haven't seen the Batman, so let's get into some news, some comics news. I gotta find the stupid. Very light news. A lot of quick hits just because of the June solicits coming out. But the biggest takeaway from the June solicits, for me anyway, were both Marvel and DC dropped a bunch of stuff for Pride Month, right? And they do this now. It's a traditional sort of thing.
Yeah, this is something we can expect every year moving forward.
Yeah, but it's kind of maybe two different takes. All right, first of all, let's go over what they're doing. Marvel, Young Avengers are coming back. They're going to be a big part of the Marvel Voices Pride. We're going to have Charlie Jane Anders, Christopher Cantwell, Andrew Wheeler, Alyssa Long, Grace Freud, Ira Madison III, Danny Lore, and a bunch more. But really, that's it. They're going to have, we can go over, who's all writing in this. Iron Man Scribe, Christopher Cantwell takes on Moondragon. Andrew Wheeler makes his Marvel debut with a Hercules book drawn by Brittany Williams. Nebula, World Fantasy, and Locus Award winner Alyssa Wong was joining with Stephen Byrne to do that Young Avengers story. Grace Freud, who did some comedy writing work with Rick and Morty, is going to do D-Man, Marvel Universe's favorite gay ginger.
I had no idea that D-Man was gay.
I don't even know if I know who D-Man is.
D-Man, the last time I saw him, he was in that Sam Wilson Captain America book. He's definitely a D-list character.
Yeah, that's why he gets his name. Ira Madison III, who does writes TV and does podcasting, is doing a Marvel debut. They don't even have any details on that story. And then Danny Lore is going to revisit the legacy of two characters long left in the closet in A Tale of Love and Redemption. And they're probably going to add a couple of more. And that's going to be 100 plus pages of no, sorry. That's the Marvel or the DC one. This comes out June 15th, and it's just a regular double size, big monthly book. But then they're going to have a bunch of variants. I got a few of them here. This is going to be the winner, I think, for Spec. America Chavez is going to hit all over. Somnus, if they ever do anything with this character, he's a new mutant. He's actually in one of the team books. And then
he just joined the Marauders, right?
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah. He invades people's dreams. He's like that movie.
Yeah.
We got to go deeper. And then Destiny is huge right now, so that's going to be a hot cover. But, and maybe I'm wrong, but here it is. This is DC. DC is doing 100 pages of new content. Alyssa Yao and Batgirl by Jadzia Axelrod and Lynn Yoshi. Aquaman by Alyssa Wong and Scott Forbes. Green Lantern, it's a Joe Mullen-centric story by Teenie Howard. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy by Danny Fernandez and Zoe Thorogood. The Ray, that's a great character. Greg Lockhart and Giulio Macchioni. Superman John Kemp by Grayson and Robles. That's going to be good. And Tim Drake is getting a story by Travis Moore, and a lot more to come. Here's the cover there. And they're doing that, all right? They're doing the same thing with the single issue that's exercise, probably going to be $10 from DC. And they're doing a bunch of variant covers, which we have some of them here. Just some really good covers, too. I mean, that one's adorable.
That's really cute.
I love it. And then they're doing a Poison Ivy series. This is some of the covers from that. And this is the
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake one. All right, so this was also, though, part of DC's promotion for their Pride Month stuff. G. Willow Wilson and Marcio Takara are doing a Poison Ivy book. Nubia is getting her own book from Stephanie Williams, Aletha Martinez, and Mark Morales. Carrie Randolph's doing covers for that. Kid Quick is coming back to Earth 11 in a book called Multiversity Teen Justice from Ivan Cohen, Danny Lore, Marco Fioli. Tim Drake's journey continues in DC Pride. Tim Drake Special, which it feels like it's going to be an overpriced one-shot starring Tim Drake. Megan Fitzmartin, Belen Ortega, and Alberto Jimenez Albuquerque are doing that. So that's my thing. That's like 4 extra books that they're announcing, right?
Yep.
So one seems to be doing substantially more, but that's just the promotion. If we're actually looking at characters who are LGBTQ plus in the forefront of these books, I think it paints a little bit of a different story. I mean, we're definitely moving in a direction at DC, but I think Marvel just says, no, man, here's your America Chavez book. Here it is. Here's your, Iceman on a team, and we're not even going to talk about it. We're just going to do it. And he's in a relationship, and he's, doing his thing. Destiny and Mystique. Basically that entire book of revenge, when Mystique wants revenge, it's a love story. At least you could look at it that way. So I don't know. It feels like I'm sort of pitting nicks, but I don't think I'm nitpicking. I think.
Well, I feel like that is the ideal way to do it: is to not make the book like, here is the book completely about them being gay. I mean, the way you can kind of draw a parallel with the way it was in television, right?
Yeah.
Like the show Will and Grace, the show was about that character being gay, effectively.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing to do. That's going to move the zeitgeist in the right direction. But you eventually want to get to something like Modern Family, where like you have gay characters, but that's not the whole central thing of the entire series.
It just happens to be the way it is.
Yeah. So I feel like that is more ideal. Although I will say that DC does have a big advantage in the sense that their LGBTQ plus characters are characters that the general public probably knows a lot better. I mean, Wonder Woman, Robin, and Harley Quinn are all way more famous than any of these characters that Marvel has.
Harley definitely.
Yeah.
Harley definitely. Harley is the poster girl for that shit right now, especially for DC in all their media. You know what I mean? The next movie, she's definitely doing something with Poison Ivy in the next movie. The animated series, all over it. The covers, her and Poison Ivy are all over that. So we're going to talk about maybe those characters later. I'm not sure if you were there or not. But yeah, just something I pointed out. But awesome. Awesome that they're coming out with really awesome they're coming out with all these great covers that I can choose from, because those covers always hit big in the aftermarket. So. Moving on, DC news. Cian Torme is now exclusive with DC. The Son of Kal-El artist making some big moves. Really, this is just a congratulations because we love your work. So yeah, that's big news. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. It is kind of weird that he still has Spawn as his background there, but oh well. But no, I mean this is getting called up to the majors,
Yeah, and not that he hadn't been doing it, but
but
if he's getting over there, and it makes me wonder. And again, I got that brain. I can't help but think a character's making big moves. We already know that he's going to be one of the main guys on this new Justice League after Dark Crisis, during Dark Crisis, however that's going to pan out. But Tom Taylor's definitely going to have a lot going on in terms of that going on in his own book, in any ancillary books that he
absolutely yeah.
And if this guy's going along for the ride with him, DC got plans. They're not just going to hire somebody and say keep doing the work you've been doing. No, if you're going exclusive, you need to start doing more work. So
yeah, exclusive contracts means you're probably going to get some tentpole title somewhere.
Yeah, so that'll be fun to look forward to. Moving on, there is yet another Spider-Man title. I don't think we need another one. We have Amazing Spider-Man 2099. We have a Miles Morales thing with Moon Girl. That might just be a one shot. It might be a miniseries though. Spider-Gwen is fucking everywhere right now. We have that What If Miles Morales book going on, a Spider-Punk book, a Savage Spider-Man book, and we have the regular Miles Morales book going on. It's like 8 Spider books. That's not counting Venom, which I would say is a Spider book. That's not counting Silk, which I would also say is a fucking Spider book. Sorry.
Yeah. You're being pretty generous, honestly, not adding them to the list, I would say.
I mean, with Batman, we do.
Especially with. But
when we're counting Batman books, we still call Nightwing a Batman book. And it's
not a
Batman book. It's not. I mean, it's grown up way past that. But I can still see why we would call it that. Nightwing is inherently a Batman character. But this one is called Deadly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
Wow, that looks pretty fucking metal. What the hell is going on here?
It's Taboo, who is in the in that band. What was that group called? The Black Eyed Peas. And B. Earl, who is a comic book art writer. He's been doing that for a while. And Juan Ferreira is doing the art. This is a Raza cover. I think that's the Raza cover. Here's a nice variant, too. That's pretty interesting. A revolutionary dark take on Spider-Man begins here. What is reality and what is dream? What is science and what is magic? At the intersection of all of this stands the deadly neighborhood Spider-Man. Peter Parker goes to Los Angeles, and what he finds there are definitely not angels. The demons waiting for Peter are going to test him like never before. One demon in particular, a very famous one for Marvel and X fans in particular, might just eat Spider-Man alive. 40 pages, like $5 whatever. In June. Yeah, that's who it sounds like it would be, but if he's deadly towards demons, that's different. Spider-Man shouldn't be killing people.
Spider-Man should not be killing people.
Remember when Spider-Man was killing aliens in Endgame when he went, kill mode? I was not happy. All right, I wasn't
I
mad,
was not either.
but I
No,
was like, what is he doing? What is
that
he
I
murdering?
I rather wish they hadn't done that. Yeah,
What
but
did he do?
but yeah,
Especially
Spider-Man,
after No Way Home, where he's saving everybody's life. You know.
and that is like my initial reaction to something like this is I don't think that this is a take that is appropriate for the character. I mean, if it's like an alternate universe thing, fine, whatever. All
Yeah,
bets are
I'm
off.
okay with that too, but it
But
doesn't
yeah,
feel
I
like
mean,
it's that. We'll see.
it's okay to try, different stuff with different characters, but there are some characters where it's just this character should kind of be portrayed in a more wholesome light, honestly,
Yeah. And we'll see what it is. If he's kicking some demons ass, I'm cool with that. That would be fun.
Yeah. But back to that original image, was that like a Hulk bear? What the fuck was that
Yeah,
behind
it
him
was
there?
wild, dude. I don't know what. It's like a demon bear of some kind. I don't know. But I think that's the Raza cover. I think this one is the Raphael Albuquerque cover. I should have labeled those. But there's also going to be a Peach Momoko cover, Bill
Well, of
Sikowitz.
course.
Yeah, a Bill Sikowitz cover, a Josemarie Casanovas, and Bengal is doing connecting variants for it. Ibon Coella has a cover too, but I mean, we'll see what it looks like. That dude's fucking amazing. Ibon Coella. All right, moving on. Milestone. New details from DC and Milestone Media on milestones in history. All right, this is like a new one shot that's going to tell a bunch of different stories throughout history. It's going to hit Tuesday, June 14th. Russian poet and novelist Alexander Pushkin is written by Alice Randall and art by Don Hudson. All right. Carthaginian general and statesman Hannibal Barca. Stephen Barnes and Ron Wilson are doing that story. Prince. Musical icon Prince is getting a story in this. Dude, that's worth it alone. All right. I don't even know who those first two motherfuckers are.
I'm not sure what you mean. Are they like writing characters where like these milestone characters meet those characters? Like, what do they mean by all that?
Dude,
or are they just doing like an anthology of like historical tales here?
More than just an anthology, but that's what this is. It's an anthology. Yes, of stories. Sort of spins on the Three Musketeers. Author Alexandre Dumas is getting a story. Art's going to be by Jamal Igle for that one. So Eugene Bullard, Black American female pilot Bessie Coleman, and astronaut Mae Jemison are getting a story. I mean, this is wild, dude. I don't understand how this is gonna. How are they gonna pull this into it being like part of the Dakotaverse?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm confused about here. Like, based off of these previews, it does look like it is simply a illustrated biography of these various historical figures.
Nah, they're gonna do something. They're gonna do something crazy.
Yeah, I don't understand the milestone connection yet, but hey, I guess I'm intrigued to see what they're doing here.
I hope there is a milestone collection. Yeah, I know it looks whack. It looks really cool. But this is the best news out of that. Milestone in history also serves as a springboard into the next phase of this new iteration of the Dakotaverse. The book features an ending that will serve as the catalyst for the first big event in Milestone.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was just a matter of time. It's comics. Of course there's going to be...
Well, I mean, they have like 3 titles currently, and I'm sure they're going to be... I think they've
4.
already...
Didn't they have 4 titles?
There's Rocket and Icon, or Icon and Rocket, I forget the order there. There's Static, of course, and there's Hardware.
No, I thought there was a 4th one.
If there's a 4th one, I'm not remembering it right now, but I think we remember talking a few weeks ago about plans to introduce more anyway. But yeah, I mean, if you have all these different books going, that's a low-hanging fruit, right? Let's have a crossover.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So I'm stoked about that. I'm actually not stoked. I mean, I'm stoked about the event upcoming, and I want to know more about it. But I'm intrigued by this history shit, because that can be a lot of fun, mixing history and comics. It can definitely be a lot of fun. All right, it's been a while since we talked about Destiny of X. It is coming. It's on the way. New Hellfire Gala. This is going to be the cover. It's now a one-shot. It is not a crossover like it was last time.
If they're going to do this on a fairly regular basis, I do think that we can't like gear up for a big like every X book is going to have a tie-in type of thing like they did before.
They already be doing too many events.
I am relieved that they are making this just a one shot. I really think that's all you really
too many
need.
events for the X-Men. Okay,
Yeah.
There's a big 6-issue miniseries. It feels like every 6 months they're going to be part of this Avengers Judgment Day with the Eternals, which I actually read the Heretic this week. It was not bad at all. And R.I.P. Ryan Bodenheim, but it actually did get me a little bit interested. I read a lot of weird books this week. We'll talk about that later. But I read just for the fashion.
Oh yeah, I was about to say that. Like, I enjoyed the hell out of all the fashion aspects of the Hellfire Gala last year, and yeah, I love that look for Cap there.
This is Avengers 57 by Carmen Carnero. Which one is this? Captain America: Symbol of Truth #2.
That's a good look for Sam.
Manahani. It is. That's one of my favorite looks out of all of these. Which one is this? Black Panther #7. Who is it? I should have put these in order.
Is Dazzler in Black Panther? What does that have to do with anything?
Come on, man. Marvel don't work like that no more.
Well, so far the last two books were where like we had Cap on Avengers and we have Sam on his own book. So
I mean that works, but
you're setting me up to expect them to do like the proper thing here and just have characters from their own books.
Yeah, like T'Challa should have been on here.
Yeah, why not? You know,
it's something rad. Yeah, he should definitely be invited. I mean, he's like.
Well, I don't have a problem with Dazzler, but I have no idea what the hell she has to do with the Black Panther book, you know?
She looks great, though. I mean, she's kind of dressed down for a gala.
Actually, yeah. Like, characters like Dazzler or Emma Frost, like, what can you come up with that's more outrageous than what they just normally wear anyway?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, man. Emma looking good here. I think she's got a better cover.
Well, Emma always has, like, some sort of, like, high fashion on, you know? Or at least frequently does. I like that look for Tony, yeah.
His jacket, I guess, is like made by lasers.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be remarkable at all if not for it being like a hologram jacket there. Yeah.
That is Iban Coella. I really like the detail on this cover, like the pixelated background with Iron Man sort of there. You see that?
Yeah, it looks kind of cool.
That's cool. Immortal X-Men #4 with the stunning Emma Frost, always just looking great. What issue is this? Immortal X-Men #4.
#4. Yeah, well, that reminds me.
Megan
I guess
Hedrick. Megan
they're
Hedrick.
launching Immortal X-Men like next month or in a few weeks, aren't they?
Yeah, they need to catch up. Here's Knights of X #3. Easily my favorite look, not my favorite cover, but my favorite look for any character on the cover. Just Rogue, just looking like
she looks great.
She's going to own the party. You know, she's going to own.
Yeah, dressed to kill.
Knights of X #3. That is Mahmoud Asrar, of course. What a guy! What a fucking guy. Marauders #4 looks all right.
Is Sync on the Marauders now? But well, whatever. But I actually like his look here better than the one he had last year.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that matters. But this is Russell Dodderman. Very cool cover. Moon Knight. See, this is Moon Knight #12.
Man. If I was Wanda, I would not want to go back to the fucking Hellfire Gala again. She literally got murdered at the last one.
But is she looking great? Great. Just beautiful. Oh, who drew that one? That is also Russell Dodderman. Wolverine #22. Russell Dodderman again. A great little punk look for Laura for Wolverine. Just very nice done. Very nicely done. It's pretty cool. X-Force #29.
I don't care for that one, honestly.
I mean, it's okay.
And that's Forge, right?
Yeah, that's
Forge. Does Forge have like a fucking Cthulhu monster that he hangs out with now? What's going on here?
Miguel Mercado. Well, if you remember in X-Force, he is creating all of that tech, that Krakoan like technology, biotech weaponry and shit. I guess that's him showing off, you know. That
I didn't mean to sound like I'm disrespecting the artist. That it's very well drawn. I just don't like the alien part of the coat. You know,
that jacket. If you notice the jacket, right, it sort of crosses over at the top, very regal looking. But if you follow that yellow line all the way down, see how it has the tassels? And I know it's very stereotypical. I know it's damn near borderline offensive, but that's supposed to represent his Native American heritage there. And I get it. They should do better, but it's cool that they're sort of fitting that in. Anyway, moving on before I make myself look shittier. We have Jedi Master Cyclops.
He's wearing a
that's In-Hook Lee.
kimono, I think, right?
Yeah. That is In-Hook Lee doing that one. And thank goodness that he is Asian, In-Hook Lee, because would definitely be cultural appropriation.
Well, that's something I was about to say about Forge there. It depends on whose idea it was to give him the tassels. If it was like,
exactly.
If it was a Native American designer, then yeah, that's that's their own prerogative. But
yeah, it was Miguel Mercado. So I don't know what his background is or anything like that. But in either way, I like it. I think it looks good. So yeah, and this Cyclops one, it's okay. Again, I think he looks kind of like a Jedi or a Sith. He looks like
to me, he looks like an admiral from One Piece because he's wearing the jacket.
Yeah, right. There you go. There you go. And finally, just this classic look to Jean Grey.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
X-Men.
I liked her look last year a bit better because of all the her incorporating telekinesis into the outfit.
Yeah, sure. This is a Jen Bartel cover, and yeah, Jen Bartel is just amazing. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm always a fan of these damn Hellfire galas, these events. But moving on,
man, thanks to this Hellfire thing, we spend way more time than I ever thought we would being fashion critics.
Dude, I think that's an awesome aspect of it, dude.
I have a lot of fun doing it, to be perfectly honest.
And I mean, if we're talking about art, because that's what we're talking about. We're talking about art. If you look at fashion, that's where it starts. People drawing on a piece of paper.
Yeah, I mean that's true enough. That
wearing stuff.
And the costume designs for these characters is a big part of their success in a lot of ways, right? Would Spider-Man be as big as he was if not for that cool costume that he has?
His iconic costume. And Storm, all of her looks are just iconic, and that's why, because of the design work that went into them. But moving on, Miss Marvel. The first thing I want to say, this show is not for us. All right. We are old people. This is geared more towards young people. And that's okay. All right.
It is,
MCU has not let us down yet. And I doubt this will. All right.
No, I'm sure it'll be fan-frickin-tastic. And the goal is to make this make it more approachable for a younger audience. Oh, I love that. That's a really cool way to send up the cover there. But
that cover has actually peaked. It hit
I think I have that one. I guess I should check the spec market for it.
Yeah, spec is hot right now on that cover. But the trailer looked good. It looked like exactly what you expect from a Disney-made Marvel show geared towards younger people.
Yeah, I really like the aesthetic they had. It had like a youthful energy to it, which is entirely appropriate for what they're going for here. You know.
But we have to talk about the elephant in the room. And again, this isn't a beef. First off, let's say they are changing her power. Apparently, it looks like they are changing Miss Marvel's power to be more energy based, and I understand why. Her power in the comics is very cool, but it's very complicated. It's got all of these weird layers to it, and having it be energy based fits in better with the rest of the Marvels.
That is a good point. Yeah, she is going to be appearing in the Marvels coming up alongside Carol Danvers and Monica Rambeau.
Yeah.
So it does make sense for them to more closely align them because, quite frankly, Kamala's powers, even though she is Miss Marvel, her powers really have nothing to do with Carol Danvers or any of the other Kree. You know.
Yeah.
Or at least more than the tangential thing where the Kree created the Inhumans.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say. She's more created by the Kree than actually, I don't know, it'd be part of the Kree. I mean, it's all Kree-esque, and I'm sure they could have brought it in there. Organic spiderwebs are, people beefed about that.
They did.
So much more fucking sense than a 15-year-old punk kid in high school able to get the ingredients to make a web thing like that.
I mean, honestly, I think that the reason for that and the reason for this are actually similar in that they're trying to go with what's going to work best for the medium.
They want it simple. They want to be able to deliver it to audiences. They're sure as fuck not going to bring the Inhumans back into this. And they're not going to use this character to introduce mutants.
No.
So why not change her, right?
And
now, in the comics, her powers are fucking whack. They're so wild and crazy. They actually are cross-dimensional mass sharing. What that means is she is able to share her mass through time with different versions of herself On a molecular level, she time travels whenever she uses her powers.
At a basic level, yeah. Like if she wants to grow like supersize, that means that somewhere else in her timeline she has to shrink down.
Or
vice versa.
Or hundreds of different versions of herself. You know what I mean? Because she's not like taking from just one version of herself. She's taking, because there's no way she could. It would kill that other version of herself throughout time. Right. And it allows her to grow, shrink, and biggen parts of herself, increase or decrease her mass, which I have seen used to very good effect in the comics when she can make herself heavier. That is so fucking cool. But she can also heal, which is a really, really important part because she's almost like OP. Honestly, in the comics, she is almost OP.
Yeah. And what I think, though, is this bigger concern they were going for, though, is the visual one.
Yes.
I am assuming that they tried to fiddle around with the special effects available to them, and it looks like money was no object for these shows. You know, consistently, it seems like they're really pouring in the money for the special effects.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that even with all that, they couldn't make a way for her to not look cartoonish and ridiculous, just stretching her arms around like we would normally see.
And it's more than just stretching. It's actually growing. Like everyone was comparing it to Reed Richards, and their powers are visually, they look the same, but dude, they couldn't be different.
The main effect of her powers that she uses most of the time is to stretch, and that does make her look like Reed Richards. But Reed Richards has like the pathetic version of what Kamala can do.
It really is. It really is. She's like, basically just copying his power because
the full extent
for her to do.
Yeah, the full extent of his power is like the most basic application she has for her power.
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'm going to say it almost makes her OP. They can't make it so that she had, I mean, it's just incredibly overpowered, her comic book power.
Yeah.
And in comics, there's always a way around that, you know, but if you're going to tell a story, especially a young adult story, it's hard to tell that story and have it be realistic when they can just be like, well, wait, she can do this too, you know?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I think that I was a little nonplussed by them changing the power, but these shows have built up enough benefit of the doubt from me that I think that even if I don't necessarily agree with it, I can probably see where this is probably the right call, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
This will look better than her having to like stretch around and grow and shrink and all that other stuff.
And they should save that for Reed Richards because if they're not going to go 100% into the full breadth of how Miss Marvel's powers work from the comics, then they shouldn't. Then they should fucking change it. Because those are the coolest parts. Her being able to heal, her mass displacement where she can be lighter or heavier. That works so many cool points.
Yeah. And like you were saying yourself, that like if this gives us an easier connective tissue with the Captain Marvel movies, that's probably a good call. And if this means we have to spend less time in the show itself explaining how her powers work, which if you were using her real powers, that is a lot you have to explain to your audience.
Yes.
That's probably good from a storytelling perspective because you don't have to devote so much screen time to exposition, you know?
Yeah.
We can just get a training montage like we already, I think, saw some of in the trailer here.
And it also looks like it's going to be like a found item. I'm not sure about that. I want to wait to see more of the story.
I mean, I would probably prefer for it to be like some inherent quality of hers rather than just she found like her magic bracelet here. But I don't know. But like you said, we should probably wait and see because, hey, they have not fucked this up yet. Exactly. I'm sure the show is going to be fantastic. And if the biggest beef is going to be that they quibbled around with her powers a little bit, I'm going to be okay with that, I think.
Yeah, that's easy to get over, dude. But
yeah. I mean,
I'm excited for
like AJ was pointing out earlier, right? We got over the fucking web shooter thing with Spider-Man. We could get over this too.
Right. And that wasn't even a problem for me at all. People were so mad.
No, I mean, it never even occurred to me, you know?
I mean, it did, but it was like, oh, this works so much better than a fucking 14-year-old boy being able to make one of the most technological.
I recognize that it was different from the comics, but it never occurred to me that I should be upset about it. Is what I guess I should say.
Sure, yeah. Let's do a quick food.
Yummy.
God, this is so gross. I only bring this up because I'm a huge fan of the Reuben sandwich. Arby's is bringing back their Reuben. Do not eat the Arby's Reuben. It's fucking disgusting. All right, it's nasty. It's a double stack Reuben, 7 ounces of corned beef topped with Swiss, Thousand Island, and kraut. My favorite sandwich is a Reuben. Do not get this Reuben.
I mean, Generally,
disgusting.
I would not trust a fast food restaurant of any sort with like a meat other than like hamburger patties, you know?
Yeah. Even then, a lot of times they fuck that
Even
up.
then, yeah, you can certainly get
Yeah.
better elsewhere.
What's your favorite sandwich, Taylor?
Do
Ruben
burgers count?
Yeah, that's kind of a weak way out, but are hot dogs sandwiches?
Okay, in that case, if we're not doing burgers, then I guess I'll say grilled chicken with Swiss.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say grilled cheese, and I was like, oh, dude,
I do like grilled cheese.
that's a good sandwich. You know, grilled cheese is a great sandwich. It's so simple and easy. You know, have you ever made a grilled cheese and not use butter, but use like mayonnaise?
Oh no, I hate mayonnaise.
Oh, okay. If you were a fan of mayonnaise, that is the way to do it.
Well, I'm the wrong audience for that one, I guess.
So yeah, that was our quick, nasty food news.
An anti-advertisement, as it were.
Yes, a PSA. Let's do comics. God, what a shit week for comics.
I mean, it's a lot of mediocrity, I think.
A lot, dude. I'll go first. I would wager that our list might be the same. I think I have one on there that is like one you're like, no way, there's no way you read that. I did read that. I'll go first. Nightwing was awesome. Eternals, The Heretic, I mentioned that. Actually quite good, man. Ryan Bodenheim did this. I'm not even keeping up with the Eternals. I cannot get into this story. I actually dug this issue. I kind of like what was going on with the Thanos being talked down to by his uncle, his great uncle. It was pretty cool.
This is weird because I do read Eternals and I did not pick this up.
Oh, it was solid, dude. It was
Maybe
solid.
I'll have to look for it in the shop this week.
I'm sure it'll be there. I don't think it would have went quick, but man, I can't find the fucking book for this. Where the hell did I not? Oh, no, there it is. But my number 3 is Batman Superman World's Finest, number 1. Mark Waid and Dan Mora. This is like an updated Silver Age book, dude.
Yeah. I do like it when Mark. This is an honorable mention from me. Yeah, and this is something that Mark Waid does have a particular talent for, where he's basically doing like a curation of comic book history. You know, this, like you said, this did read like a Silver Age story.
I mean, look at that. Just the dumbest, but it was so cool. It was really fun. Basically, it's just Batman and Superman going on an adventure, but they sort of come together because they're fighting each other's villains, and it was all, you know, the mastermind put it together, and then it flashes back to, you know, them figuring shit out, and Batman gets injected with like red kryptonite dust or some shit, and
Superman does.
Oh yeah, Superman gets injected with red kryptonite, and he goes all crazy, and it was just fun as hell, dude. It was like, all right, every time you turn the page.
I mean, it's a common refrain on the show, right? There's nothing wrong with a comic just being fun. And this comic was a lot of fun.
Yep. That's in my note. Just a whole lot of big, stupid superhero awesome. It was just fun. So, yep, that's my number 3. Excellent choice for your honorable mention.
Yeah. That was an honorable mention from me. I'll also do an honorable mention for The Flash. Even though this was a tie-in to a book that I am not reading, this War for Earth 3 thing, it also was the wrap-up, or at least like the epilogue to the previous Flash arc, and I continue to enjoy the family dynamic there, so it's a fun honorable mention.
And if I just stop you there, they got this War on Earth 3, they got the thing going in Detective Comics, they got the Aquaman, they got the Amazon thing going on.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, they got a lot of damn shit going on at DC right now.
Yeah, there's a really none of them are like really events properly, but
It
a
feels
lot
like
of
it, though.
crossovers. A lot of crossovers.
Yeah, there's just a lot of shit. It'd be cool if all of that shit sort of met up.
I did read that Wonder Woman 785, which it was fine. It was mostly a lot of people like sitting around talking. Although I will say
it was fine.
Wonder Woman proposes the obvious solution to the murder mystery going on. And I was like, no, Diana, that's a violation. Fuck you. Just let her use her fucking perfect solution in the lasso of truth and solve this immediately.
Why do you even have it?
I mean, on the one hand,
do you even have it?
I almost would have been worse if they didn't mention it at all, because like then the readers would have been like, why are we having a murder mystery? She could just instantly solve this. Whereas like, hey, I'll instantly solve this. No. So at least now there's like a narrative reason for this to actually be going on when it doesn't need to be.
I ignored it. It seemed cheap, but
you know, other than that, you know, it was a good read.
Yeah.
My number 3 was Nightwing, number 90. I missed that Bruno Redondo art. I really do.
That's why it didn't make my 3.
Yeah, but it was still highlighting the other major strength of this series, which is Tom Taylor doing the character writing. Yeah. The dynamic he has with Wally West was the central feature of this particular issue, and it was very well done. I really liked Dick interacting with the whole West family, not just Wally.
Yeah. They sent a drone to his damn building. That was insane.
Yeah, they fucking blew up the whole damn apartment.
You see him wearing a DC comic shirt?
Yeah.
In this book? That's like, wait.
Do you remember a few issues back where, like, wasn't he wearing, like, the Batman slapping Robin shirt or something like that?
Yeah, he was wearing that from way back. This is a great emotional moment, just the way Tom Taylor can make you remember their relationship in just a cool page, that was very well done. And this might be the moment of the year. The moment of the year. They fridged me. That says it. They fridged me.
That was a brilliant meta joke, I think, that he was making there. And I also like, and it was really well handled too, because it's in a moment of competence on her part, right? Where she's like, I've unlocked the doors. I can leave whenever I want to, but hey, let's use this to our advantage.
Because it probably wouldn't be a good idea for me to jump out in the middle of Main Street. And why don't I follow them and see where they're going? Because I'm probably the most competent of the Bat family, honestly.
She's up there. I mean, she's more competent than Dick, to be sure. At least in terms of
I mean, all around. Like, not only is she a good,
like, pound for pound, she is probably like the most resourceful and useful member of the Bat family.
Yeah, great crime fighter, best in the chair, but she can also like balance her checkbook, and go grocery shopping.
She has the most life skills, to be sure.
Yeah, exactly. She grew up poor. Her dad was a cop, right? She grew up poor as hell. Awesome. Yeah, excellent choice. That was your number 3?
That was my number 3.
Dude, my number 2, I think, is good. I don't know if it's on your list, if you got it or not, but this book really surprised me, and if it wouldn't have been such a shit week, it may not have made it. Reckoning War Trial of the Watcher.
Yeah, we had that sweet Javier Rodriguez art.
Dan Slott wrote it. This was a gem. I picked this up on a whim. I'm not really keeping up with this event, but this is a what if the Watcher just did his fucking job and stopped doing everything else. It's basically what if the Galactus trilogy, what if the Watcher didn't help during the Galactus trilogy?
Yeah, that is like the meat of this issue. Is it's a retelling of that classic story. And it's really, if you haven't ever read the original Galactus trilogy, that does help a lot with your appreciation of this book.
Let me go to where the hell is my other image? That was just perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
I can't find my Trial of the Watcher issue number 2. And that's the one I need before I show number 7. Damn it. Trial of the Watcher. Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, this was a great send up. Oh God, how bulky he fucking was.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, this was a great, like, sort of love letter to the Silver Age. It had a lot of great artwork to it. And yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It was more than that, dude. I mean, it was that. It was definitely an homage, to that original trilogy, that book. But it's also very steeped in this entire event. How the other Watchers are saying, you suck, and here's why you suck. And while, yes, it is an homage to that event, who was always the narrator, even in the latest Annie Award-winning animated show, the narrator of those what ifs was always the Watcher.
That too is a really good meta narrative, right? Because they bring that up, right? Like, we've seen how you're always looking at other universes to see what if this happened. Well, we think you suck, Awatu, and here's what,
But it also, I mean, I don't want to be that guy. This literally changes the importance of one of the most timeless Marvel stories ever told. Because we were all under the impression that the Watcher helping out during Galactus, that's the reason we won. But it wasn't. We kind of lost. I mean, the FF as individuals didn't get their asses kicked as hard as, motherfucker Reed come out looking like Sloth from the fucking Goonies in this thing. But by the end of this, we realized that the Watcher getting involved here sort of cripples the Fantastic Four. and it's an out for them. But if the Watcher wouldn't have been there, if Uatu wouldn't have intervened, the Fantastic Four still would have won. But not only that, they would have used the spoils, I guess, of beating Galactus. Something that he figures out about Galactus actually helps the world. And within a year, it's like a perfect utopia. And it's just super well done, dude. I mean, bravo, Dan Slott, honestly, because
yeah, it's pretty good stuff.
he could have thrown this could have been a throwaway, dumb, stupid issue, and he turned it into something that was actually fucking genius. You know,
I will say though that by killing Galactus, that probably means that everyone's going to die to the Annihilation wave earlier, because that was a big part of that book.
I mean, you're not wrong, but who knows, man? Maybe
well, yeah, sure.
The Nihilus, you know, the only reason the Nihilus comes here is because Reed discovers the Negative Zone, right? Isn't that still comic canon?
Yeah, I think that might have been before. I honestly have no idea.
Yeah, that might have been before Galactus. Maybe Annihilus looks like, oh shit, this motherfucker be Galactus. I ain't fucking with him.
Yeah, I mean, that is a good cautionary tale to anyone who's going to fuck with Earth.
But yeah, go ahead, dude. I wish I had that image too, because it shows off this scene in the book, you know? And there's also one like this where Galactus is standing there. I don't know what the hell happened to all the damn pictures I had. I had a bunch of them. Anyway, yeah, go ahead, dude. Go ahead. You're number 2.
My number 2 is just Avengers number 54.
Oh, okay.
This is basically just a wrapping up a lot of brawls. We get more of Doctor Doom being like, you know, uber badass. We get more of
Kid Thanos being a bitch.
We get Thor and the Phoenix doing their team up against Thor and the Phoenix.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I kind of liked how Echo sort of, you know, convinced Thor to, hey, stop being a little bitch. Your mom was the Phoenix. Come on, get over it.
Yeah, you need to get over your little crisis of identity that you're having now, because we got shit to do. But yeah, I mean, this was kind of a transition issue. It's them moving from like the fights that they've been having for the last few issues and like setting up the fights they're going to be having in the issues to come. But
the judgment stuff.
Yeah, we're going to have all that Eternals X-Men crossover stuff in the meantime.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is just consistently a fun book. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I don't think it was the best issue they've done, but like you said, it is kind of a light week, so just dumb fun gets it into my top 2 today.
Are they gonna put Deathlock in there? Is he gonna be the new Celestial? Is he gonna be a Celestial?
Apparently, yeah, he is the ghost in the machine now. He's like in the Celestial's head somewhere.
Yeah, man, I really wish you'd have read that Heretic, because that was basically Thanos's Uranos. I don't even remember the dude's fucking name. This dude. His whole thing was he had like these rules. He also had 3 rules, like Krakoa has, and one of his kill all deviants. Any deviation is a deviant. So he's going to end up being the one who wants to murder the mutants, you know, because they're considered deviants. So all of these things, in my opinion, X-Men, what did the last issue X-Men kind of lean into Judgment Day coming, because this Eternals book did, and I know this Avengers book really feels like it's going in that direction for the Judgment Day stuff. Is it called Judgment Day or Judgment?
I think just Judgment, but I'm not sure. I can't
fucking remember. I am so disinterested in this event, but
I mean,
I think it's cool that they're planting.
It's crossing over a bunch of books that I'm already reading anyway, so I'll read it for that, you know.
Yeah, and that Heretic book, it was cool, dude. This book was cool, man.
I'll have to go back and check that one out.
Yeah, I had a good time reading that. That leads us to number 1, X Lives of Wolverine.
Of course, it's the same for me.
Yeah, Ben Percy, Joshua Cassaro. Again, it's all on nostalgia. My number 3, Batman Superman World's Finest. My number 2, Reckoning War, Trial of the Watcher. And now this. All 3 hinged off of nostalgia. But X Lives of Wolverine, the whole series, basically hinged off of nostalgia by sort of giving it an update, working within the new status quo. And it worked really well. And I think it worked well for this character in particular, just because of the way most of his life became revealed to him.
Yeah, this is a
at
story.
the same time it became revealed to the reader.
This whole
it's
setup has
fun
been
traveling
genius
back.
from the beginning, because this is a story you could only tell with Wolverine, with all the colorful lives he's led, with all the places he's been to. And I really like the way that they like kind of put the narration about that, right? Like if you've lived as long as I have, like there's kind of a desire to go back and like find these old memories, right? To go back and like relive your past experiences. And yeah, it was really cleverly done. We had a lot of really good knockdown, drag out fighting going on, especially that last fight between Omega and Wolverine there.
Well, I like the emotion here in these first few pages. There was a lot of good emotion between, because these three characters, inherently have a lot to thank each other for, have had a lot of great characterizations over the years and things like that. I'm pretty sure Logan is the only other person to own the school. Besides Charles, at least in that location. So yeah, a lot of fun emotion there. And then, it's just Wolverine being fucking Wolverine, calling in favors to get teleported across the world. And then this just laughing in the face of, this dude trying to murder him with a
sword through the neck. He's just,
laughing it off.
Yeah. But I think it's also a testament.
Rips him in half, just perfect.
I think it's a testament to the writing also, where I couldn't help but feel bad for Omega Red. In spite of all of his like time travel bullshit, in spite of him being such a huge pain in the dick for all of our good guys here, the way he just gets like thrown aside the second the plan doesn't work and just like left to get killed by Wolverine,
Yeah.
For it wasn't even his idea to do all this in the first place.
You really could, at least that thread that Percy built throughout X-Force and into this book with Omega Red, it could be called the tragedy of Omega Red. Nobody trusted him, especially Wolverine. And they sort of push him to make bad decisions.
It became a self-fulfilling prophecy,
Exactly, dude. Krakoa was like, we don't trust him, so we got to keep an eye on him. And then he was used by Mikhail by saying, look, Krakoa doesn't trust you. Why don't you help me keep an eye on Krakoa? And he was just this tool, used by these individuals. And I think a lot of times this book has also touched on the way Wolverine has constantly been a tool by different organizations and different things like that.
Omega Red is a great foil
he's
to Wolverine.
Tool of Krakoa.
Yeah. He's a great foil to Wolverine, especially like the way that's been written here. Yeah. Oh, and I love the stinger here tying in with X Deaths coming out next week.
Yeah, which is really cool. That's my final. This is a great ending to a fantastic Wolverine series that still somehow has one issue to go in it. But again, Ben Percy just gets this character, and between this 10-issue maxi series, which was 2 5-issue miniseries, his Wolverine ongoing and his X-Force ongoing, Ben Percy's up there now in terms of some of the best Wolverine writing.
looking at his body of work for the last couple of years here, it is some strong stuff.
Yeah, I still love the Remender X-Force stuff. I still love the Mark Millar Wolverine stuff, and not just Old Man Logan, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Jason Aaron had a good run in there.
Yeah, Jason Aaron's run with the school Wolverine and X-Men. Is that the one you're referring
to? That's the one I'm
referring to. Yeah, that's really good. That's a different sort of a Wolverine story, though.
Well, I guess that was the line between being a Wolverine book and being a X-Men book, but hey.
Yeah. So it's really fun that we're, in real time seeing arguably one of the best Wolverine runs, between 5 series now, but 4 series now, but so kind of a week, but enough good stuff out of there. Man, I can't believe Trial of the Watcher wasn't on your list. I thought for sure. I was like, oh shit, Taylor gonna go head over heels on this.
I enjoyed
really it. You would.
I did enjoy it, but honestly, I just kind of feel bad for Uatu, like,
oh, I don't
like the direction they took there. It was like,
Uatu. It ain't his job.
But he has done a lot of good. And honestly, I'm sure the Fantastic Four appreciated it because like they were looking shit at the end of this issue.
Reed, definitely. He don't look like fucking Sloth from the Goonies. Anyway, we're done. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. We really appreciate it. Check out Comic Book Bullies. They're going to be streaming on this Facebook later on. You can go to outrightgeekery.com and find links for all of that shit, including links to the Bullies YouTube and stuff like that. Keep coming back. We got our show tomorrow night where we're going to be talking about all of the new books dropping Tuesday night into Wednesday. Monday, Tuesday, Wayne. It's difficult. It's complicated. Books are coming out. We're going to talk about them. Please come back for that. I don't know if we're doing a show next week. I will let you know way ahead of time, Taylor. But I may have shit to do on Sunday that is going to stop me from doing the show.
Well, you got to take care of what you got to take care of.
Yeah, it sucks, but I got to do it. I live so far away now; it takes me forever to do anything if I'm going to, do it in Nashville. But yeah, we'll definitely let you know, everybody. So thanks a lot for hanging out. But most of all, thanks to this Joker for hanging out with this Joker.
Had fun.
We're going to do it again next time.
Same geek time, same geek channel.
Yeah.